Hello, welcome to Cataclysm Quick Tips number 8. Can this car be driven? So vehicles are a big important part of Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, and a common question I think a lot of new players have is how do you know whether you can drive a vehicle or not? Well, most of the vehicles that you're going to find in Cataclysm are not drivable. They've got issues in various forms. Some of them can be fixed, others aren't worth the effort. But if you're an early game survivor and you don't have a lot of mechanic skills and so on, and you just want to jump in something and take off with it, here are the things to look for to see if a vehicle is drivable. So, first example is going to be this one up to our left, and here is the order that I look at on this screen to see whether a vehicle is drivable. First I look here, does it have gas and a battery? In this case, no, it has no gas and no battery. The second thing I look at is here, does it have enough wheels? This indicates that yes, it has enough. Doesn't mean it has all the wheels, but enough of the wheels are present that it could be drivable. The next thing I look at is in this section, you have to have controls and a seat. If you're missing either, you will not be able to drive the vehicle, so it has controls and a seat. And then finally, you want to find the engine compartment. So here we go for the engine compartment. It's got a battery, an alternator, and an engine. Various coloring conditions indicate how worn or damaged they are, but as long as they're present, there's a good chance you can get it started. The engine is the only one that's got some variance. Sometimes there will be issues with the engine and it'll say faulty, and there's a way of seeing issues with it, and I'll show you that in a moment. Alright, let's move on to the next one. That one could not be driven. If we look at this vehicle, it's a low-end cube van, and I can see here it's got a gas engine, but it has no gasoline. So when I notice the gas missing here, I could tell. So we've got a faulty engine, there's no gas, there's also no gas tanks, so apparently the gas tanks have been destroyed. So this one is not drivable at all, so we're going to ignore it completely. Move up to this car. This is just a standard car. First thing I look at, that's not going to be enough gas or battery to get this thing started successfully, so I would just immediately move on. And in this case, we do have a gas and a battery, but we don't have enough wheels. So if we move the little map thingy around on the vehicle, you can see it's missing the front left wheel, missing the front right, missing that one, and that one's got there. So it's got one out of its 4 wheels, and that's not enough to be drivable. So without having some tools to be able to replace the wheels, we could not just jump in this and take off. So let's check the cop car. Alright, cop car, we have a pretty good amount of gas and battery actually. That's a fairly good find for this kind of a vehicle. And we also do have enough wheels. We do have controls and a seat, so everything's looking good. So you find the battery and engine compartment. We've got a perfect condition battery and alternator and a decent condition engine. No indications that this would have any kind of a problem. Now, it does have a security system, and what that means is you're going to need to bypass that, or an alarm's going to go off, and you're not going to be able to start this without keys unless you have a screwdriver or toolbox. So I've got a toolbox in my inventory, so we're going to go ahead and hop in, and we're going to try to drive this thing. So we're going to do Shift 6 from the driver's seat, and you can see here the police car engine started right up, and we're just going to start moving. And there we go. That is how you know whether or not a vehicle can be driven. Now, should the alarm go off, you can bring your control vehicle's message up, and one of the options will be to disable the alarms if it actually starts firing. So let's go ahead and stop driving for a moment. We're going to dive out of a moving vehicle here. Sure, dive out of the way there while it runs into that kid. We're going to go look at this vehicle that's actually already running. So you can see from the smoke in the back that it's running. There is no seat, so it is not drivable. It's got gas, it's got a battery, it's got wheels, but without a seat, you can't actually get in and drive this, unfortunately. So, those are the primary ways you can tell if a vehicle is drivable. Just be aware that if it's got a security system or you get a message about not having the keys, you need a screwdriver or toolkit in order to hotwire it and or disable the security system. Hope you found the information helpful. Have a safe Cataclysm. Bye-bye.